Wait, who invited you here?
Also, her mit Herzen von
Partying is cool. Dying is not.
I am hooked. Binge watching The Mandalorian. Oh my God.
Easy with that.
Unbelievable. It's on Disney. Check it out for yourself. I actually think it's better than the Star Wars movies. Just great.
It was fantastic.
Natalie is fantastic.
It's going to be fantastic. I mean, it's going to be...
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And it's awesome. I'm enjoying absolutely awesome.
It's so... I'm so happy. George is so happy. It's just fantastic.
You know, might go off, or I don't know, what kind of practical jokes do you play?
Well, with my new chemistry set, thanks to Brie Larson, I do like to make stink bombs.
こんにちは。ボンバットファミリーと私たちのライブ放送へようこそ。私たちはあなたの視聴とリスニングの喜びのための素晴らしいショーを持っています。今あなたのホストスコッティ・ジェイロとジェリー・ケーブルにステイ・ボンバードを楽しんで覚えておいてください。
Welcome to the Bombadcast.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, your boy. Hey, it is Ed Respectful McMahon. How you doing tonight, people? Listen, we've changed the bit. We're making it better. It's more family friendly, you motherfuckers. Are you ready? Are you ready to talk about the new and improved, was it MacGyver? We're talking about MacGyver, the Bombadcast Indian. What is this? Some kind of Portuguese? What is this? I don't understand. Anyway, welcome to the show. I think it's called the Bombadcast, a weekly Star Wars experience. Oh, whatever the hell that means. Live every Thursday at 8 p.m. Central. Oh, Bombad Gaming. Well, this is a show right here where this lovely chap with a little pencil mustache sits down and teaches you how to play checkers, I believe, or something like that. Oh man, he plays Atari. With the little pong going back and forth. The little ball going back and forth between two little things, like it's like my nuts on a hot day. Family friendly. He does it every now and then. But you know what? We want to shout out some of these Patreon supporters. Oh, here we go. Trevor Richie Raspiatin, Preston Douglas, Buck. Oh, fucking Brian, Alden, The Bit Diaz, David K2S Bro, Trey Bitchell, Wesley Fullridge, Chase Hauser, Neil Lowry, Todd DeGrob, Brian Fennessy, M from Pink Milk, Michael McCoo, is that Michael McCoo, Brian Fry, Jeff Quilulio, Jared, that fucker, Seth Parnell, Sean Room, Rick Villanueva, ooh, Joe Organa. That one reads like he's got a nice plumpy cock. And then Brandon Schrader, Andy H, Will Beatty, Scotty Holiday, and guess what? This could be you, you sad little bitch. It could, if only you had the money. If only you had the money. Who's Jameson Murat? Who is it? Does anyone know? Where am I? What's going on? What the hell? Who the? What the? I don't know. Oh my god! Oh my god! I'm so high, I see an eye in my mouth. Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh fuck! Oh man, it's a bad trip, man. Oh fuck!
Wanna have you near me? I wanna have you hear me say it.
The hell was that? Oh man. Hi guys. Welcome to the Bombadcast. Did Ed say all that other shit? He did? Did he? Okay. Well, you know, I'm gonna bring in Scotty because I just missed his handsome little face. So
What was that?
I don't know what was
Was
going
that
on.
Ed?
Was it? Did we listen?
We let
This is
Ed
what happens.
just take over?
When we are like 5 minutes late to the show.
Ed's got
It
to
is
take over.
possible that an alter ego might take it over. It's
God.
possible.
Who would have thought the Tonight Show's very own Ed McMahon would take his time to be involved with the Bombadcast? It's kind of incredible.
I know it's pretty great. I'm happy that he's getting involved.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure.
Man,
I don't know. I'm not sure if it's exactly the route we want to take things.
No,
you know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah.
Just
I just hope
like
we didn't read our Patreon names really weird. That would
it's almost as if he got a hold of the Dial of Destiny, which is what we're talking about tonight.
Oh, yes.
Yes, interesting. We won't spoil anything up at the very beginning. Just a few things just to say and get off our chest. I love this movie. And right now, by the way, if you're watching this, you're watching a pre-recording because I'm road tripping right now. Jerry is tripping right now. So we had to make
hella balls.
Pre-record it. Yeah. Jerry is going down to Argentina to do some ayahuasca. So
going on a vision quest.
He's going on a vision quest. He's trying to talk to all the DMT demons and shit. So we're just
don't you put that on me.
Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby. No, all that being said though,
I'll be a beautiful articulate sons.
Oh shit. There he is. There's the DMT demon.
Oh my god. Oh man. Fuck you.
Anyway,
Dial of Destiny.
This is all built up to this. We started this back June 1st. Here we are on July 6th.
Wow.
Hanging out. I cannot believe it. We've always wanted to do this. I'm not joking. Since we started Bombadcast and we did the Bombad build up for the Rise of Skywalker, we discussed doing this for Indiana Jones when the inevitable 5th movie would come out. And we were talking about this back in 2019. So here we are now. It's wrapped up.
This movie has been coming out ever since Disney bought Star Wars, right?
Yes, actually, that's true.
Every year since then, they've been like, hey, there's going to be a 5th Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna look this up, dude. It
and
was
then
announced.
little assholes on the internet all over the place were like, "You mean the fourth Indiana Jones movie?"
Oh God, here we go. Look,
but-
this is an actual. This is a Google summary, so everyone can see it right here. It
Look
was
at this.
announced. It was announced March of 2016, and it was
Wow.
supposed to be released July 19th, 2019. With Ford reprising his role, Spielberg would direct the film with Kennedy and Marshall as producers. The film became the first Indiana Jones series to be co-produced by Walt Disney Pictures and Lucasfilm, which is true. And if you saw Dial, it was a weird like triple header. It was Lucasfilm, Paramount for I don't know why, and then the Disney logo, which was so weird.
Right. Well,
That was
it's
weird.
always been they've always been put out under Paramount.
Yeah.
For some reason, but it was like I was a little okay. Well, and I mean, I guess we're just that it's not a total spoiler on the
No, it's
film,
not.
but just like
It's
that,
not.
it opens up with the Disney. It's like just a title card for Disney 100 years.
Yeah.
Like the
Which
Disney,
makes
it's
sense.
not the whole ba-na-na-na-na-na-na at all. Please don't take away our monetization because I did that. But it is just like the card pops up. Disney 100.
That's it.
Paramount, then Lucasfilm, and then we're off to the races. But yeah, no, it was an interesting choice because not even with Star Wars did they do the Disney card. So I was like, okay,
they didn't.
this is interesting. Are we going to do that from now on?
And they didn't. They've never done it with Marvel ones either. So I think this is I think Disney actually co-produced this one. Like I think Disney was actually like everyone wants to say like Disney's involved with Lucas. That's why Lucas was woke. Like I think everyone.
This is the only one that is true. Yeah.
This one is the only one that is true. It is this movie is super woke. Now, if anything, I'm joking.
Woke and broke. Am I right? Yeah.
Woke and broke, right?
Here's that. Hey. Oh,
but
where'd that come from?
So interesting to read. So I had this pulled up, and just to give y'all some backstory, we had been told about this movie for a really long time. As kids, I remember there being rumors of this, but this is very interesting. I never realized this. It says right here, the story was conceived by Coop and Spielberg. Coop had previously written several other Spielberg films, including Crystal Skull. Spielberg said the title character would not be killed off.
Wrote Jurassic Park as well. Actually,
yes, that's right.
I remember it.
That's true. Marshall stated that the story would continue where the previous film ended. It was initially reported that Lucas would not be involved with the project, although Spielberg later said Lucas would serve as an executive producer. Of course, we'll never make an Indiana Jones without George Lucas. That would be insane. Later that year, it was announced that Lucas had no involvement, with Marshall stating 2 years later that life changes were moving on and he moved on. In 2017, the film's release date was pushed back.
That reads like a breakup, man.
It
Holy
does.
Shit.
It really does. Spielberg was busy working on Ready Player One, and the Post Co-op said we've got a script. We're mostly happy with. Spielberg said Indiana Jones 5 is his next film, with productions at the beginning UK in April of 2019. However, the filming was pushed back, and the final script had not yet been approved. In early 2018, Lucasfilm met with screenwriters Scott Beck and Brian Woods for an open canvas talk, including Indiana Jones and Star Wars franchises. Beck said they had considered writing the next Indiana Jones installment, but ultimately he and Woods were most interested in establishing an original franchise. Marshall said that a lot of people had pitched ideas for the film. Jonathan Kasdan was eventually hired to replace Cup in 2019, and a new release date was set for 2021. Yo, this movie, I mean, for those that don't know, and you can read it on your own, but we were promised this movie for a really long time, and I'm so glad to finally sat down. And I want to say this is the non-spoiler part. When you sat down, you saw that gold Lucasfilm logo. What'd your heart do? I was like,
fluttered a little bit.
40 years to seen that in a theater, like before a movie starts. I was like, wow. Think about how much our lives have changed in those 4 years. That's what hit me. I'm like, dude, last time I saw this was before Rise of Skywalker.
Oh my God, it was Rise of Skywalker. Oh my, because I'm like, you see it before like all the shows and so
the trailers and but
well,
still.
but it no, you're right because I hadn't thought about that like how long it had been. Like the last time we saw that logo was when the year this movie was supposed to come out.
Yes, dude.
Apparently, you know.
Oh my God,
2019,
insane. So God, it's been building up for a long time, and like
It
you know
it
what's
has
funny?
what?
It delivered. Like non spoiler, it delivers.
It's this is something that we like a mutual friend of the show and just friend in IRL, as the kids say.
Through all life.
Alden Diaz and has been saying this, and I've seen several people say this. This is just like a movie that makes you go, "Damn, I love movies."
Yes.
And stuff, and that's I love watching those kind of things. Like that, the Fablemans did that for me last year.
Yeah.
Right? Like Fablemans was really good. I really enjoyed that one, but this is like this is like the other side of that spectrum. This is like the Fablemans was like, this is why I love the art of movies. This is why I love what I think
this was
powerful. This is like
escapism.
Like this is why I love genre.
Yes.
Genre film can transport you. And this movie, to me, does that. And I no spoilers or anything, but it is transportative in a lot of ways.
It's amazing.
So.
Quite literally. But I can speak to that too. Like, we had heard so much about this movie leading up to it, like from the from Cannes Film Festival, and like Rotten Tomatoes had their moments, and everyone has their thoughts and feelings when it comes to these Indiana Jones movies, and everyone always and here's an example of last week's episode, but everyone has something to say about Crystal Skull, right? And so I think everyone was expecting to go in and see another just another kind of
every time.
I wouldn't say, because I love Crystal Skull, but I think people were going in expecting like an erasure of that movie. But if anything, this movie kind of solidifies the events of that movie, which is really cool.
Solidifies like all of it happened and everything.
Yeah.
In fact, the events of if you pretend that fourth movie doesn't exist, there's a big part of this film, the heart of this film,
the emotional weight
isn't there.
Crystal Skull.
Yeah. And maybe you're like one of those masochistic, D-holes who's like, they erased it, blah, 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 blah. Or like in a way, and again, no spoilers, in a way you can say that they're like, oh, we're doing this because it was a failure, but that's a very, like I said, a very masochistic reading of it. That's a very like negative reading of what I think the true intention was, which the intention was, again, to give our hero this very poignant but heartfelt ending, right? To not, I'm trying to not give too much, even because some people don't even like giving emotions that you felt, stuff like that. You got to be kind of careful.
But I think most people right now are probably going to be tuning into this to listen to the spoilers. So
probably already have seen it by now.
Let's hope so.
Me and Scotty on recording, I've only seen it once. Well, I don't know if you didn't go see it again, did you?
No, I've only seen it once.
Okay. We've only seen it once. I'm going to see it again by the time this airs. I will have seen it at least twice.
Yeah.
And it's still very fresh. And
last night I was like, it was funny, like we couldn't record, it was too late. Last night I wanted to talk about it so bad. Like I wanted to just gush about it. And I still do right now. But like it was one of those ones where like it's kind of like, I don't know, when you see a really, really impactful movie that has so much elements and so much storytelling and so much even Easter eggs, you just like immediately want to talk to someone about it, And like I can bore Katie with it, but I want to talk to Jerry Cable about it. You know what I mean? Like I want to like, you know what I mean? Like, and like it's one of those ones like I text everyone and this is something I want to say. And I guess we can get into spoiler territory. Okay.
Yeah, we're getting into spoilers.
This is it.
Right now.
I was given a narrative. This is not a joke. And I love my stepmom, but she was like, I'm not going to go see that nonsense. Apparently they make Indiana Jones, they kill Indiana Jones, and they make the new girl the next Indiana Jones. And so of course, I'm like, where did you hear that from? You probably heard that from some right-wing radio host. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way you didn't. Like, where did you get that from? So I was going.
Did you hear that from Ed? Did Ed McMahon
exactly.
say that?
Hey-oh. I was going into this movie thinking.
I hear they make him a
woman.
gay.
Okay. No, I was going into this movie thinking like, okay, how much of that is true? And come to find out, neither of those things are true. And they
No.
make Helena Shaw kind of an asshole, which was incredible, which was like amazing.
They made it, honestly, someone put it on
Lando.
Twitter. It's Han Solo.
Yes,
basically.
dude. Yes.
It's Han Solo who is like, I want you to think that I don't care.
Yeah.
But she really cares a lot.
Deep down. Yep.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
like, because there were those times, like she was very much like that roguish character and everything. It was a lot of fun to follow her because it ends up like they set it up to where I honestly, personally, I would go watch Helena Shaw.
Oh, I would too.
And
I would too.
And the Spear of Destiny or whatever.
Yeah.
I would go in a heartbeat. I'd be like, yeah, is Teddy gonna be with her? Kind of thing. Her little sidekick, her short round, basically.
Yeah.
She was very early indie. This was like indie and Temple of Doom. I've heard some people, kind of say, and like it feels, it
for
feels
fortune,
just like,
not for glory.
Yeah, it's a lot more of the fortune. It's definitely like the beginning of a hero's journey.
Yes,
for her.
Yes,
but I will say I'm gonna go ahead and put plant my flag in. Helena Shaw can kick some ass.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm sorry if it's woke to say that I think Indiana Jones should retire at 80 something and have a nice life. Right? Because again, we're in spoilers. Anyway, I'm jumping too far ahead. Far ahead. But like, do you want Indiana Jones to just literally be a skeleton, like, like traveling through these adventures and everything, like someone pushing it, like Helena's gonna push him in the fucking wheelchair.
Dude, I was honestly, and like I said, after my stepmom's review, I was like, how do they kill him? Because I'm watching this, I'm like, Helena Shaw is not the next Indiana Jones because of the characterization so far. But by the end of it, I'm like, how are they gonna kill him? And then literally you get to the end of this movie, I'm like, this is how you do it. And I'm like, but this also is kind of unsatisfying because like he doesn't get to have his connection with Mary.
Do you want to just talk about the ending and get it out of the way?
Let's talk about the beginning. Just to talk about the beginning.
Yeah,
I love the
gotta be careful.
sequence. I love the deep fake. I think the deep fake looks phenomenal.
We know Scotty is ready to implant his brain into the robot overlords right now. And
that's right.
So he wants to be so deep inside of that robot.
Yes, I want to be in it. I want to just
be the robot.
I want to be the organic cells of a digital thing. But here I am.
Pretty cool.
Here I am watching this movie, and this deep fake is like flawless. There's a couple parts where he talked, and you could tell it was old Harrison's voice. There's like a couple.
That's it. See, and people were saying, I think Alex Damon, friend of the show, from
who
Star
was
Wars
just
Explained,
on.
and I watched his review, and he was saying he thought it sounded off like it was like what they did for Luke Skywalker.
Weird. Okay.
But I was thinking like you. I was thinking that it was Harrison.
Old Harrison's
voice, because it did sound a little like it is Air Force One Harrison Ford, literally that whole time, like that is it, because I thought it was cool that they did that, because we're 1944, right? We're in the middle, which I was like the end of World War II, which was we're in the thick of it, which is cool because he talks about serving in the war in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. But you don't see it because the others are in the 30s, and it was so cool to see Indy in the war. Like, I hate these goddamn Nazis. Just like boom, boom, boom.
Dude,
like
the
a literal
punches
Captain
sound
America,
good.
man.
Dude,
the punches.
We gotta say, Mangold, like, I can see how Kathleen Kennedy watched this movie and said, get this man a Star Wars. Because that's what happened. No, seriously.
No,
that's what happened.
She did.
She saw
Like,
this as like, this guy can pull off Indiana Jones, which is arguably more stylistic than Star Wars, which is crazy to say. But like,
no,
it
you're
is.
right.
It
Well,
is more stylistically different.
you can do different styles within Star Wars, and you can in Indy too. But Indy is way more true to that Saturday morning serial.
Yes.
In front of like you
And
go to the movie
there's-
theater to watch this like 10-minute. It's like all those jam packed into 1 2-hour block.
And there's
kinda
some
thing.
consistencies there with like, there's always going to be snakes. There's always going to be bugs. There's always going to be the villain is the one that gets fooled. The villain thinks they're right and they get fooled. Like there's always these tropes in these Indiana Jones films. And to see this one and be like, oh, they're doing those, but a little bit different was so tasteful. And like it is so stylized, right? And so I'm watching this whole intro and I'm like, okay, we've got the spear that stabbed Christ. That's cool. I know that's not the
that
main
was
MacGuffin.
I can't so whenever the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull came out, I would talked about my friend who was like, I just would think it needs to be like I like it when it's like a biblical artifact.
Yeah.
That was what he suggested it should be. Was the Spear of Destiny is what it was called.
Oh, wow.
They call it another name, Spear of something, but it is the spear that pierced Christ's side. And I was like, when that popped up, I'm like, no, shout out to Jay Lyles.
That's amazing.
a buddy from Arkansas who wanted to
called it.
Hey, almost, man. Almost. I love that they get that it's like that's what they're after, but
there's other important things at work.
Well, it's a reproduction, as we find out. Kind of like the Harrison Ford again from the 90s. Again, I didn't finish my thought on like I love that they deep faked Harrison, but they made it from like the 90s, so he would be the right age.
Yes. God. And
like early 90s Harrison Ford.
Let me find that clip we have here. Let's see. This is honestly what he looked like. Without the long beard.
Honestly, yeah.
Without
the scraggly beard and everything and the saxophone. He didn't have his saxophone here. He didn't use sound waves to bury Nazis. Well, do you want to kind of break down like some of this like action?
Oh yeah, by all means.
The beginning of this thing.
There were some parts, not at the beginning. There were some parts for me that dragged. I felt like the beginning was perfection, 22 minutes. But like there was some other action sequences and I'm like, okay, this is going on longer than I thought it would. But then again, you're doing the final Indiana Jones movie to our knowledge. You know what I mean? Like you kind of have to go all out. And so this opening was maybe the best way to bring up someone back into like the series. Like it was perfect. The Katie and I were laughing the whole time. Like the moments where he walks in, the two Nazis are like, they do the salute, and then literally he's like,
well, what about just from the beginning, like when they're bringing him in, and you know it's him because they got the bag over the head, and we've seen that in the trailer where they pull it off and it's young Harrison. You're like, okay, or it's young Indy. Like, okay, all right, here we go. All of the World War II stuff. So I'm like, I think both of us kind of thought we were hearing rumors that they take a big swing in this movie, and we were expecting time travel. And I don't know about you, I expected them a couple of times in the movie to go back in time and be their younger selves. That's what I was expecting. So whenever it was all this, and now that's a very George Lucas, because I was going like George Lucas craziness. I was like, oh, they're gonna go like he's gonna be like, we're gonna be young men again. And honestly, I thought I didn't expect Mads Mikkelsen's character to be an older version. I thought he still looks great. I know he's like, they just gave him gray hair.
That's it.
But so you got the beginning though, man, whenever they pull him up and they're going to hang him.
Yes.
How great was that? Him hanging from the noose in the exploding building.
Uh-huh.
That was so good.
And then
It
he
was
gets caught on
such good
the
ending.
gargoyle.
He keeps getting caught on everything, and you're like, he's like, dude. When the bomb fell in, and I'm like, what the hell's gonna happen? And everything it goes down, and I'm like, oh, this is the part where it from the trailer and everything.
Yeah.
It's just you're like, how it was immediately. This is 100% indie. This is something he's never been in any kind of situation like this, but it's so it's so indie to like we're literally hanging this man and he will not die.
Yeah.
It's like because he's like grabbing onto the noose and everything. And just like you're like, how's he gonna get out of this? The whole damn time. That tension was so good.
It was so good. And it's funny,
good.
you can do the prequel lens thing where like we know he lives because of Crystal Skull.
Right.
You know what I mean? And but like
it's still exciting.
Oh, it's still so exciting. And like I was wondering the entire time, like, you know, most of these movies have kind of I forget the exact phrasing, a Deus, whatever it is. Not Ex Machina, but
I was gonna say Deus Ex Machina.
No, what's the other one where
Machina?
the movie starts on another story's ending? There's a name for it. But that
Cold
being
Open?
said, nah, I don't know. But I can tell you, Eric Cotterman knows the name. He's told me about it before. All that being, George Lucas always does that, and for this one to do that as well was really awesome.
Well, I mean, that's the indie thing, you know, like it starts at the end of the previous adventure and we go on, except for this one is actually, it starts at the end of an adventure that has to do with the rest of the movie.
Exactly. Starts with a previous adventure. There is a certain name for this trope.
Yeah.
It is called, oh God, this one said foreshadowing. Nope, it's not. It's definitely not it. Anyway, all that being said, the fact that they made this Archimedes dial, I would thought that was incredible because like that was a real thing that was found at the bottom of the ocean that no one really knew the true explanation of it. Archimedes was known for like really good mathematical, I guess analysis, understanding the world around him, and the whole idea of like, and that's a really interesting principle of physics, is that if you can manipulate space, that means you can manipulate time, because time is in essence part of space. Time only moves forward. And if you can find some way to have this dial, and it's all mystical, right? But like, if you can have a way to make this dial, and I was convinced, Jerry, that it would be like some weird, like they go back in time and they're young again too. I thought about that for a minute. I'm like, that would be.
I thought it was.
And
I thought that's why Mads Mikkelsen looks so young, and it's literally just because they just like he just has good genes in the universe, apparently. So,
and then I love that he was the reason they got to the moon, which is really cool. He was the reason. Yes. So
I loved that. So there's a lot of this, like indie touches a lot of like I like the esoteric like conspiracy weird shit that I love. And you have Operation Paperclip, where they brought all the Nazis and everything, and they help with the space program. It was I love that they
From
put that in
Alabama.
there. I love that they put that in there. Yeah.
Professor Smith from Alabama. I'm like,
man,
Alabama.
But like when you have them on the train at the beginning and everything, like first of all, the chase to the train is great. Like I love him walking up, knocking on the window, and I saw that in like a little teaser online before. But like when he knocks on the window and the guy rolls it down and he punches him out, so good, pitch perfect. Good. I don't know about you, but I was thinking how we're back to like Raiders of the Lost Ark style, taking out bad guys. Because Raiders of the Lost Ark is a little more brutal with like, you got that guy even getting run over by the car.
Yep.
Right.
Which is
like, that's a classic indie thing.
The turret like falling to the side and shooting everyone off the side of the train. I'm like, this is incredible. Yes. I love this.
Man. So good.
Brutal.
Just like, oh man, jumping from the car to the motorcycle, and then they see the motorcycle crashing, and then he's like kicking the guy off the thing. It's just it was classic. It was It was very brutal. You could tell
Yeah.
they took a very firm stance, which is the stance of most of the modern world is Nazis not good. Nazis free game, man. Free
Yes.
game. Just like, I mean, pop those
worst.
bastards.
I agree.
You know, like and they really went all out with it here, like making sure you knew bad guys, Nazis.
Yes,
Nazis
killing
bad. Doesn't matter
killing
what they're doing.
innocents. The
They're
first time
bad.
Indiana Jones
They're
that
bad.
we've ever had innocents get killed, where there's just like innocent people getting.
There
just,
was
like,
a lot of that, which
shot.
is it
It's
was
a little
very
different.
it was very that was very shocking. Honestly,
Like
'cause you
Indiana
don't.
holding that dead woman's body in the blood, and I was like,
That was
Jesus.
very.
That was visceral.
Yeah,
That shit was wild. I was like,
that was
they're
pretty
doing
crazy.
this. They are doing this. And like, I don't know if they're doing it because they could. I don't know if that was a Mangold decision. I don't know if Spielberg would have done that. But like,
Well,
I'm watching it like this is really showing you how awful some people can be. You know,
it immediately. I mean, it immediately. You see, these guys are some of the lowest pieces of shit you've ever seen. I love the scene where the guy brings the guy brings in the breakfast to Mads Mikkelsen's character. You'll have to forgive her name. Or
I forgot his
on the
name
names,
too.
guys. Again, we've only seen it once, but we like to look stuff up in the middle of the show, so we don't do prep. We don't do prep. No, but when he brings his breakfast and he's in there talking to him, and he starts talking to him like an actual Nazi would, like, so where are your people from? And stuff to this African American man who fought in the war.
Wild.
I was like, this is like
Damn.
to see blatant racism from a Nazi
Uh-huh.
in Indiana Jones was shocking, but I was like, I'm so glad they're doing this because it's not a cartoon character Nazi.
Yeah.
This is a bad man.
This is a racist.
He thinks bad things. Yeah, he thinks less of people who are not what he thinks is perfection, right? Like he has it's the whole thing. The Nazis were all about like was it I'm trying to think of the proper term, eugenics, which is like basically like anything that's not morally anything that's not what we think is perfection or whatever at birth, we're gonna just go ahead and snuff that out.
Good Lord.
We're gonna get rid of all these other races and stuff because they're just not, they're just not cutting it. We're not really supposed to be. It's very much it's modern Nazi ideology, because modern Nazi ideology leans more into that. They're very anti mixing of race and things like that. They did such a great job with Mads Mikkelsen's character, man. These guys were evil.
But also
evil.
The people they aligned themselves with, when you had an American, regardless of
the CIA.
Regardless
you had
of
the
her,
CIA agent.
Well, regardless of who she aligns herself with, if you align yourself with a Nazi, you get taken down.
Exactly.
I mean, that's that story's telling you,
Yeah.
Even if you don't speak the language or walk the walk or talk the talk,
yeah.
if you still get caught in that, you are part of the problem.
That's America. That was America in that time. We took these Nazis and worked with them.
Yep.
And thinking it's okay, we can do this, and it has not ended great.
No, David.
Look at the world the way it is now.
Literally, David Duke was a Louisiana native who became the governor of Louisiana. Like, and he was a known Klansman who is in charge, who was like the head Klansman of the South. Like, that reality was literally less than 50 years ago. And so when you watch a movie that takes place in 1969, you're like, yeah, this is still the reality we live in.
Yeah,
where we
it's like
still let this slide.
You can't trust these people.
No,
these people are out for their own gain.
Yep.
They are out to, again, force their will on other people and make the world the way they want it to be, which is with a lot less diversity in it.
And you know what?
The ending, they want it to look like them and them alone.
Exactly. And the ending was that whole entire goal was that Dr. Volder, I believe his name is, or Volder.
Volder.
Okay.
Volder. Yeah.
He was his whole goal was to not only be the head Nazi, but to kill Hitler and take Hitler's spot.
He was going to take Hitler's place, which is
It's
insane.
just crazy.
That was such a good twist.
And like
when
you knew, I knew in my gut, like, there's no way this is going to work out, because it never works out for an Indiana Jones villain. They don't consider certain aspects of the lore. And like, I
mean, it'd be a pretty pessimistic Indiana Jones film if he actually succeeded.
Yes,
right?
it would be. It would
Although
be ridiculous.
I did think the big swing was going to be that he did win in the middle of the movie and they had to go back in time and stop what he did.
Oh, that's great.
I thought that would have been crazy. I thought, like, what if, like, he makes it and they come back and they're like, oh no, the Nazis are in charge. Like, it's like the hype man in the high tower or whatever.
Yes.
And oof.
Look,
I mean, again, I'm so glad with where they went and everything.
Me too.
It was way better than anything I had in mind, but it was just, they had you guessing the whole time.
They did. So villain was great. The opening was great. Indiana Jones as a person is what I want to focus on just for a second. The fact that we got an old man in his boxers, like, and it was, you know what? Look, let's be real. We both have older parents and we both had older grandparents too. And like when you saw, and like I've watched all three of my grandfathers like slowly pass away. They're all gone now. But like, you know, when your grandfather got to that part where, like, you know, those things are getting on his nerves now. And like, to see Harrison Ford be an older man, like, not have the muscles, his arms are really skinny, he's kind of frail, he's wearing his boxers, you see a little bit of his ass cheek. I'm like, this is not like, this is like, almost, it's so visceral because it shows you that he is an old man in a changing world, and that science at this point has now progressed history. Because for a long time, history was so important, and the idea of studying history, but then you get to the actual technological revolution as to what's happening then with the space race. You have Watson and Crick, who just discovered the, you know, DNA double helix. Like, all those things all happen at once, and like, people tend to forget that because things like history took a back burner. Even things like art and film took a back burner at that
obviously point. Well, yeah, at that point. But I mean, obviously, it feels like history takes a back burner in our current day and age and stuff. Because people are like not, and again, we've got these history books written by the victors and everything as well. And you know, but it's just like, if you don't study again your history, it is true, like, you know, you're doomed to constantly repeat and cycle things, and it's just what we've been in. But like back then as well, like, just I don't know, man, it's just all this like again, like America working with the Nazis and all that kind of stuff there.
The fact that you get in Raiders and in Last Crusade a young handsome educator that all the girls are swooning over, all the guys want to be like.
Yeah, they love
and
you.
Even in Crystal Skull, you get the teacher that everyone's still very attentive for at Marshall University. And then you get this one where, you know, it's the day of, you know, or close to the moon landing, and everyone's in this class.
It was after, I think they just got back.
Okay. So it's like science had progressed so far past what people were interested in terms of history. And so like, I just watching that opening play out where he's fussing at him for playing the Beatles song for like the whole thing. And like, you know, what does he do with his retirement gifts? He gives it to a beatnik. Like, that's exactly what he does. He's like, he gives it to a hippie dude. And he's like, I don't want this clock. Like, I have no use for time. Time has passed me up, and I am now a relic. I am now nothing better than the things I study. And he knows that. And his life's falling apart.
Well, yeah, I mean, you get right at the beginning, like, you know,
the separation,
you see that it's like a divorce paper. It's a, you know, again, which was very, So Indy was in his TLJ Luke mode here.
Yes, but I will say, I think I liked it better this way, if that makes any sense.
Better than Luke, or
I think how it was done, not better than Luke. It's weird to say. Okay, how about this? I liked this characterization that Harrison Ford could play better than how he played Han in TFA.
Oh no, absolutely.
Okay, good.
Okay, you know, I'm with you there, and I heard
someone
say this is like this is like the Force Awakens and the Last Jedi. I think maybe it was Alden said is the Last Jedi and Force Awakens combined, basically, and it is to a point. But yeah, to see him like he's got the divorce papers was very visceral. Indy's always been that hero who falls down and keeps getting back. He falls down 50 times, but keeps getting back up. And he's just kind of down. And that was very cathartic again for like someone in the life position that I'm in right now, especially, you know, like just like, I mean, it's important for all of us to see like this characterization. And I need to rewatch the interview. I stayed away from it because I didn't want spoilers, but Harrison is Indy, basically. He really is. But Harrison talking about, I saw an interview where he was talking about being in his boxer. He wanted to show age as like it is, and that it's okay and stuff like that. Like, you know, that people get old. Yeah. And that's why he's like you see me, first thing you see me, like I'm in my underwear and stuff like that. It's just like, it's real. It's very real. You've got he's dealing with all the stuff with Marion. He's got the picture on the fridge that he puts the magnet over the face.
Did you watch at the end when he moved it? He moved at the very end when she walked in the room.
Man.
Oh, it's good.
Man.
But yeah.
I can't wait to watch this thing again.
You know what? I can speak to that too. Like watching this movie for the first time, us being people that love lore and love how these things are going to wrap up and how the story connects and where is this going. It was kind of a lot the first time watching it, but now I can know when I can go to the bathroom, or now I know whenever I can, like, you know, kind of chill out. Cause the whole entire time, you can ask Kitty, I was like, okay, when you're like, what is this? Cause this one to me, out of all of them, had the promise for the biggest and most intense climax. You know, reveal, really. Because I'm like, they hype it up the entire time. This thing can control time. This thing can do this. And I'm like, there's no way they're going to pull it off. Like, and I kept saying that to myself. There's no way they're going to pull this off. Like, how are they going to time travel? And here you go. You get the moment of them talking about, you know, Archimedes and the Romans versus the, who was it? Romans versus the Syracuse? No,
the Romans were attacking Syracuse.
Yes, and so I'm watching this play, and I'm like, "There's no way, like this is going to be it." And then I don't know if you noticed, but whenever what's the young man's? What's the little boy's name? The pickpocketer?
Teddy, I believe.
Teddy. He went to go pickpocket that rich douchebag kid. You know what they're watching? They're watching a dragon and knight fighting.
A dragon and centurions,
like, dude, like, I guess we can, you know, we talked about Helena, we talked about Indy. I like Teddy a lot. I loved Helena's father. He was wonderful.
Oh man, Toby Jones is always fantastic.
Yes,
like, I love him.
good.
He's got a line. One of his lines in the beginning was the first one that really, like, there's a lot of them in this movie. There's a lot of instantly iconic lines.
Yes.
But he had a line of, like, Indy was like, I told you to wait in the forest, and he said, I'm not gonna hide in the hedge. No good man hides in the hedge while his friend's getting hurt, or something like that.
That's sweet.
It was very like, I like this guy, kind of thing, you know,
very
like
admirable.
Admirable. It's like, even though he knows, like, I can't do shit as much as Indy can, but I'm a human being. God damn it, I'm gonna go try to help him.
Yeah,
like, it was like, I instantly loved. I forget the exact name of the character. I know it's Dr. Shaw or whatever. But Toby Jones's character was just and again, like, he has the bumbling moments at the end and everything like that of that opening sequence. But I thought he was absolutely perfect.
Basil Shaw.
Mm-hmm. So good.
Yeah, man.
So
that
good.
To have Sala come back, and Sala was very much, you know, who he was, and he appeared in more than one scene. I was thinking it'd be that one airport scene, but he was in the scene before it, and at the very end, and he was great at the very end.
Can I say that the end made the entire thing for me? I cried today at work, like a week ago, upon you watching this.
Yeah.
I thought about the ending, how I don't know if we want to get too much into the ending yet, but just that, again, Marion comes back to him.
Yes.
Sala is there.
Yes.
And if we can talk real quick about the juxtaposition, is it okay if we talk about it? Because if you're not ready to talk about the ending, I'm not further to talk about this.
Let's talk about the ending, but I want to talk about the reveal as well. Because the ending and the reveal were two very different things that I was not expecting.
Right.
I thought the reveal was the ending, but I did not think there'd be a coda. I did not think there would be a actual ending.
Right.
Like genuine.
I was with you. And I think a lot of people, honestly, I think that's like it's made to kind of, I think, fake you out and stuff. So but I kind of started crying thinking about how Indy he has this family there. He gets to come back to his family.
Yeah, without
Sala is there. Are you gonna? I'm gonna cry.
No,
I'm gonna cry thinking about this,
dude.
But like just like Sala bringing his grandkids up, and like I love that Sala was like, "This is the man that got us safely out of the country when the war was going on."
That was
and this
awesome.
man is like just like the whole like I love that him and Sala have been friends this whole time.
Yeah,
and one of the first lines that choked me up was Sala. And it was in the trailer, but hearing it in the context of the movie and seeing Jonathan Rhys Davis say these words of, I miss the desert. I miss the sea. I miss waking up, not knowing what new adventure will bring.
Yeah.
Was just, I started tearing up right there.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man,
he's such a good actor too.
It's all just like the whole, a movie about the end of life.
Yeah.
And how it's hard, but it's not all bad.
Dude, the best
It's a beautiful ride, to quote one of our favorite movies.
Yes. It's a beautiful ride. No, one of the best lines too that Helena says, she uses her dad's name in the past tense. And he's like, and he's stuck on it. He doesn't want to bring it up. He like, you can see in Harrison's face, you can just like see that he was not ready to know that his friend also died. And like, I think it's always been dealing with
so much.
Yeah, he's
lost. And you even had the moment, like Indy never really takes a moment, even if he loses a companion in the other movies. Whenever Antonio Banderas' character gets killed and they're escaping on the boat. I mean, how great was all the boat stuff, by the way? We haven't even talked about that stuff yet.
Boat stuff was awesome. Eels,
but
loved it.
They're getting away, and Helena is in that I am Indiana Jones at the beginning of or the middle of Temple of Doom. Like, yeah, we did it. And he turns around and he goes, "My friend just got murdered."
Yep.
That socked me right in the gut.
Oh, it did.
It was like, because you're cheering with them, and then like you look back and Indy is mourning.
Yeah, he's fucking.
He's like, you don't realize.
Yeah.
That this is like there's not like he's like, I don't have much time. Like, Indy doesn't have much time left, and like the time that he has is precious. You understand that.
Yeah.
That's very much another thing about this movie is like time is precious and you don't need to squander it and everything. And just like the look on his face and everything when he says like, my friend just got murdered. That pulled the rug right out from underneath me. Right.
Well, there's
like,
a mortality.
I was like, yeah, they got away.
There's a mortality to all of this in this movie. You're right. It does sit on the mortality of all these characters. And like, death is a very open thing in this movie. And to watch that character get gunned down after being so damn funny too, leading up to it. So funny.
Good.
So
I was like, oh, these fuckers were killing every good, innocent person.
But
which
that's
was,
the
again,
point, man. That's the point.
It's supposed to drive you to a point where you're like these people need, and I will say, I don't think their ending was gruesome enough.
You don't think so?
And again, the one guy got chained to he drowned. He got handcuffed underwater and drowned, which was fine.
That's wild.
It was good. But I did want a little more. They died knowing they failed.
Well,
but I wanted like
that was the best feeling.
I wanted like time to implode, turn them inside out or something.
I agree. I think it
You know
was
what I mean?
nice though because they did die knowing they failed, whereas every other one of them had a quick and sudden death. Like literally,
Yeah.
like every character. Like, look, here's a prime example. I want to know. I want to know. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I don't want to know. Like, yeah, like that. I mean,
that was a pretty excruciating like 30 seconds. You know,
but still, this one was like like the second Indy realized. I guess we should get to it. The setup of him getting shot, I was like, oh
Yeah.
my god, this is it. This is how he dies.
I was thinking that too.
I was
right
like,
in the chest. Oof.
but it was like right above the heart. I was looking at him like, there's no way he would have like, if it was any lower, it'd be done. But it was like right in like your shoulder blade. So I'm like, he probably could
It
live.
was shoulder blade, but I was like, that's dangerous close to this
you're
lovely
80.
old man's aorta.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
And then
And
their
so-
aortas ain't what they used to be when
No.
you're that age.
Jerry,
okay?
did you not flip out whenever they're looking at Archimedes' tomb and you see the propeller on that eagle? Did you
bro.
not go?
So whenever
what was
she's
your
like,
first thought, I was like,
I knew that. So it's a long pause, and she's looking, and I'm like, oh, there's something weird going on.
yes,
Like,
dude.
what is it? I'm like, I was a little like, what is it? What is it? What creepy
Uh-huh.
thing is it? And she goes, this phoenix has propellers.
Fucking awesome.
Was like, what?
What?
And at the time, I wasn't thinking, I hadn't put it
No.
together yet, because you're just thinking like, oh, well, Archimedes used this dial to go back into. That's how we got the watch.
Yeah,
that's how
he
we
has
got all
watch.
the things.
Uh-huh. No.
It sets all of this up so perfectly that when it finally happens, you're like, oh my god.
Yes.
Oh my god. Or I guess you might be mad. I don't know if so. You just go for a walk. It's fine. There are forest fires outside. I mean, just have a good time while you can, man.
We've got, okay, so think about what we got so far. We got biblical, we've got like tribal, native people. Then you've got another biblical reference, which more crusade biblical, not quite Old Testament biblical. Then you've got
it was
interdimensional, and then you've got what to me is this is the best execution of any Indiana Jones reveal ever, where it was time travel, but it was, to me, the best logic of time travel. It was the repeated notion of time travel. So they like
it was less time travel, and it was more something that this is an actual thing people have reported, time slips.
Yes.
It said it can report it said that thing can like predict fissures in time or something like that. And that is more of it's less, hey, we built a time machine, and it's more, here is where, if you go to it can point you to where if you go to these spots, 2 time periods, because time isn't actually a straight line.
No, it's not.
It's, as we know, like it's more of a concept or anything.
Yes.
But like, it's
a circle.
This is where this 2 times touch.
Full,
right
yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
And how great was that like plane sequence, man?
Dude, I was
First of all, Helena tried to get on the plane. That was cool as hell.
Well, I'm sitting there with Katie. I'm like there was so much, like, to me, it was almost the perfect buildup that I have not had in a long time, where it's quite literally you are ascending into the unknown, and you've got
it was scary.
Dr. Voller was like, oh, we've got to figure out, he's in the uniform, he's looking sharp.
Bro, they're in the era specific plane and everything,
yes. Oh my god. And so the fact that like, and everything started to fold on each other, all the metal objects were like meeting in the middle and stuff, and Indy's like, you idiots, you're idiots. I was like, what? And he's
love
like,
this gloating.
No one took into account continental drift. And then, like, here I am, literally, Jerry, I got chills as a science teacher who teaches this shit. I'm like, oh my god, everything would have shifted just a little bit. Like okay, so for those that don't know, the entire continent shift 1 inch every year, just by 1 inch. You don't feel it, it's not a problem. But if you take into account
it's natural.
2,000, think about that. 2,000 inches, what are we looking at? what's 2,000 inches? 2,000 inches is how many feet? Inches to feet. We're looking at
A hell of a lot.
166 feet. So they did not take into account the right time period and where they were going to land, because he was anticipating to land in Germany, but he ended up landing in
Well, I thought they were going for Sicily. Weren't
oh,
they?
you're right. They were going for Sicily.
They were going to land in Sicily
Yes.
because that's where the Furo was going to be at the time.
But they quite literally go, and dude, I'm like, it's light outside, like, and then you know what's funny? In my brain, I'm like, oh, we saw the trailer of this, of where they're trying to jump at the plane. So
yeah.
I was like,
I was trying to figure out where
they're
that comes. Yeah.
exactly. And so they get in there and come to find out, and like the reveal is, oh, it gives me chills. The reveal is so slowly given to you.
It
where
is
like
very
he looks at the window.
Because at first they're worried because Indy's like goading them, like, you idiots, you got your calculations wrong.
Yep.
And then like they get there and he's like, we did it. That's Sicily. We did it.
They can see it because it still looks the same. You know, Sicily's
Yeah.
one of those old cities that hasn't changed in thousands of years. And you get closer and you see the Roman ships and you see the spears and you see like the literal thing that Indy brought up during his lectures,
Grabbing
with the
ships
lights
out of the sea and stuff. Yeah.
Jerry, I was ascending because like this is the best type of time travel story where that Indy's impact on history is how it's supposed to happen. So these winged beasts,
it was supposed to happen.
it's a cycle. I mean, it really is like this, like it was supposed to occur this way. And like the fact that they're launching spears and like taking down a War II plane, like I'm like, it doesn't matter what area you're from, war is still war. And whatever weapons they have, what?
Boyd Holbrook's character needed one of those spears right through the chest.
Oh, I agree.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I completely agree.
But it was brutal. Like the way, oh man, it was so brutal. Like they were like absolutely. What about Helena too? When she finally comes out and like opens the doors, those dudes fall out, and the one dude take it on, and she's like, "Sorry, you're a Nazi."
Two shoots him. God.
Oh man,
dude,
so damn good.
I'm telling you. And then the fact that they cut to Archimedes watching all this, like has a form of the dial in front of him.
He has it there, but like it's like not done yet. And
oh man. Like,
and they're all like both sides are like they have a dragon. They have dragons.
They have dragons. I mean, you gotta think, dude. I'm watching this like this is perfection. Like I'm genuinely.
It was very trippy too, because then like they start shooting with that minigun out of the like out of the front, the machine gun out of the front, and one Centurion gets hit with stuff, and it's like it jars you for a second because you're like, that's not right.
Yeah,
like. They're not supposed to be hit by bullets. Like
no,
that's not.
But to see it, and that obviously makes sense, quote unquote. But like, it's like that's what it would be like to be, you know, attacked by a dragon. You know, you're getting killed by these things you can't even visually see, and so like you're watching it as a viewer, like where do they go from here? And I'm sitting there like, where? Like, how the hell do they pull this off? And her and Indy jump out and. They parachute down.
Shout out to that poor dude who was asleep in his plane that Teddy took.
The greatest Glepshido of all time. Like
the greatest Glepshido. Seriously.
Dude,
and that
guy,
dude's just like
no name. He looks
Alex
so
was saying
foreign.
That dude went through so much he should have been with them at the end.
Dude, he looked like some weird little French guy. Like I couldn't even tell you. Like he just had a look to him. I was like, who?
Yes.
Dude, this is like maybe Star Wars is not, I mean, obviously, like, you've got Star Wars things that are that weird, but that shit was so weird. He's like, oh, he like wakes up. You're like, who is this man? He is back in time. Like, how does he leave that going to explain it to people he know? Like
he's changed forever.
Yes.
Honestly.
Oh,
like
man.
anyone who experiences that kind of stuff, you know, there's been people like, oh man, what's the writer's name who wrote, do androids dream of electric sheep?
Oh,
something.
Hold on.
The science fiction writer.
Yeah.
You guys can yell at us all you want, but we're pre-recorded.
Philip K. Dick. Philip K. Dick. Philip K. Dick. Blade Runner.
Yes,
Or
that's
that
what I
is
was saying.
that is Blade Runner.
That
yeah,
is the
sorry.
Blade Runner. Yeah, that's the Blade
Yeah.
Runner. Yeah, Android's Dream of Electric Sheep.
Yeah.
He was famously he kind of went a little eccentric at the end and was like saying he got contacted by an alien intelligence. I forgot the name of it. I don't know if you've heard all
Yeah.
this.
I don't know.
But
Not at
he
all.
talked about he was in a park one day and all of a sudden just like everything around him changed and there were ancient centurions marching past him and stuff.
That's amazing.
And he went through like he thought he went through time slips and stuff and it changed him. He kind of went crazy from there.
That's
and basically like he had the alien intelligence telling him like, no, time is not a flat line. Time is all,
yeah.
like you're traveling. It's people to this day are like, it was something like probably like really, degenerative, but
Yeah.
people still wonder like he wrote all these great stories. Was he like actually
stuck and slipping out of
like
time?
being like, was something happening to him actually? And it's just
But dude,
that kind of stuff. That's what this kind of stuff reminds me of.
and
That's exactly what this is.
But it was emotional too, which was surprising. So I'm watching
Yeah.
it, I go, and like to see, I don't know if it was Harrison Ford's acting, but to see Indy witness history happening was one of the most I was tearing up. I'm like, this is the coolest thing in the world because he wanted nothing more than to watch it exist and watch it happen, regardless of the outcome. Like he wanted to see he was witnessing a battle that he loved and studied. And then his hero walks up to him. And I'm watching this play out like this is how they end it. Like this is gonna be the coolest ending of all time.
Yeah.
But it wasn't emotionally satisfying of an ending. But as a viewer, you're like, this would be a cool way to go.
I was like, oh man, that would be. I was thinking they were gonna end it because
Me too.
man, when he starts going, I'm staying. Leave me here.
Uh-huh.
Leave me.
And he knows
He fights so hard that I'm like, they're gonna leave this man,
dude.
And I was a little. I was like, okay, I guess it's perfect for Indy, but I don't want him to be left there.
Nope.
You know what I mean? Like it's just to be left alone. And I think this was the point of everything because we get the thesis, I think, in the next scene, the final scene from Helena. But it's almost like you see all the stuff that he's gone through before. We didn't even talk about Mutt went to the war.
Oh yeah, Mutt went to Vietnam and died.
Piss him off. And he died and it broke up him and Marion.
Yeah.
I started crying when he was telling that on the boat. If he could go back in time.
Yeah.
And he said, I would tell him he's going to die. I would tell him that it's going to end his parents' relationship. I would tell him all this kind of stuff. I would tell him I love him.
Yeah.
Like shit, I'm tearing up now.
Dude, that was brutal.
But to have all of that,
yeah,
and then he sees this and he's like, I want to go here. It's almost like it's the easy way out.
But dude, Indy's always struggled with that. We besides Raiders and besides Temple of Doom, this is the same ending to me. It's inverted. It's the same ending as Last Crusade, where he's like, "But Dad, it's right there," and he goes, "Indiana,"
Yeah.
Or he's like,
gets his attention. Indiana, leave it. Yeah.
Same exact thing where Helena's like, "No, you can't. This is not meant for you." But like the watch, right? Then the dial. So like the idea that Indy did impact history in that way. I mean, I could leave at that point too. You know what I mean? Like they that straight up shows that like this is the reason why all this happened. Like why Archimedes.
Well, and you get all that like because all of that happened. That's what Archimedes made that to do, is just to bring you back to this point.
Yes.
In time. It's a waypoint for him. And so that was brilliant.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. At that moment, Jerry, like the epiphany I had was James Mangold's gonna make an amazing Star Wars. Like, like it was at that exact.
Is he doing?
Moment.
He's doing the biblical one, right?
Yes, yeah. So I watched.
Damn.
I know. I watched that one. I watched this whole thing.
So good,
dude. I watched this.
I'm gonna cry so hard.
Oh, me too. I watched this whole ending play out. I'm like, I guess this climax play out reveal. I was like, and this guy gets to do a Star Wars. Like, the promise of just how emotional that made me, and I'm not even that emotionally attached to Indiana Jones. You more so than I am, and I'm sitting here like we are.
I teared up when that first trailer came out. Yeah, absolutely.
We are literally getting like Indy talking to a historical figure that he impacts. Like I don't think people are like people are gonna leave this movie like you said, either like really deeply satisfied or really confused or pissed off that they don't understand how the ending played out. But like to me, it's like Prisoner of Azkaban. It's like this great idea of no matter where you're at, like you impacted yourself. What you followed the footsteps that you gave someone else. At least in this version of time travel. It's like Looper, right? It's like you have to make a choice. And the fact that it was that cold cut, Katie literally laughed out loud when it happened. When Helena's like, sorry, boom, and like you see the fist knock him out, I was like, there's no way. And then of course, of course he wakes up in his New York apartment and the dial's right there. And then
Which
the
is,
spears
did you think
right
that?
there.
Did you think a Shield agent was going to come in and talk to him?
I
And
was
it was going to
really
be like
worried.
2012 or something.
I was really worried it was
No,
going
I'm
to
just
be
playing.
not
No.
a dream sequence, but I was really worried it was going to be something diff. Like they were going to pull the wool over our eyes again, but they didn't.
Yeah.
They were like, this happened. He needed to get healed, and he has the huge bandage and everything on him. God, dude.
Well, and so you get there, and he comes in the other room, and Helena's there waiting on him, and I love how I loved. So I forget exactly what he's saying. He basically Indy feels like there's nothing for him here.
Yes.
Which I have identified with a lot over a lot of stuff, like again, I got my kiddo and everything that like means the world to me and everything. But like, I can see if you have so much wrong in your life, if you have so many L's you're taking, and you take so many losses, eventually you're like, I just want the easiest choice now. I just want the easiest thing. And the easy thing was, I'm just going to stay here and die in the past, away from everyone who I've ever loved, because it's easier.
It is easier.
And Helena says no. And he's talking about how I got no one, no one needs me. And Helena goes, I forget the exact line, but it was to me, it was the thesis point. It wasn't like I need you. It was this is where you belong.
Yeah.
This is where you're meant to be.
And he was, and she was right. Sometimes other people have.
Well, then
other people know more about you than you know about yourself.
Right. A lot of the times it's helpful. I mean, you have that inner self, right?
Yes.
But it's helpful this is why community is important. This is why it's important to have people around you.
Yeah.
Again, humans are meant to be together in a lot of ways. Whether you are whether you are social or not, like you're more of an introverted person, we still, again, that's the reason why humans started forming societies, to make things easier,
of course,
on each other, and
everyone has a different skill, and the fact that you get Helena, who knows best for Indy in this moment. And I really was not expecting to see Marianne Ravenwood.
Not at all.
Marianne, I genuinely,
when she walked in and the music started playing,
yeah, that was it.
Because it was, I mean, for me, it was just like and again, like the thought of, it's that man who was so at the bottom that at the end of this, you could tell through the whole adventure, he's like, this is the end.
Oh yeah.
And he gets there and he's like, I'm just going to stay here.
Yeah.
She drags him back to his life because you need to still be here. You're not done yet. You may be done adventuring, but you're not done being with people and being around people. People still need you and you still need them. And I love that from this movie, that you got, again, like I said, I was tearing up thinking about Marion comes back. They're working on their relationship now. Sala comes in with the kids, and Helen is like, "Hey, let's take the kids to get some ice cream and everything." And you just got this. It's like, to me, that is the happiest ending.
Dude, I agree.
Indy is surrounded by people who love him.
Mando season 3 ending. They even did the damn closed Looney Tunes ending too.
The
hat, love it.
The hat hung out on the thing and he grabs it real quick. Oh man.
And it's so funny. Everything
so
I
beautiful.
thought about this movie going into it, that he would die a heroic death, that the climax would be his big ending, wrong. I was
thinking that too, and I was so glad that it wasn't, because I'm always for endings. I'm for happy endings. I want more characters should have happy endings. You shouldn't have to kill a character for their story to be done.
For their story to be over. I agree.
Because we need more, honestly, especially the way the world is these days. We need more happy endings, really y'all. I mean, come on.
This one delivered, like, through and through, like,
beautiful the whole way through.
He dies an old, like, in my brain, he dies an old man, you know? Or
yeah.
bring him back for something else.
Someone said, Harrison Ford aged a lot better than they thought he would in the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, and saw on Twitter, and someone said, well, still got 23 years left, because I think that was technically him in the 90s.
Yes, it is the 90s. So that's true.
So he still has time to lose an eye.
Let me see. Hold on. Oh man, Indiana Jones.
It is a rough, like,
he looks fucking crazy.
They make him look like he looks like the guy at the beginning of an old horror movie who tells you not to go down that road.
Yes, literally. And I've never seen this picture before, but you're gonna love this picture. There's something very funny about this. Let me get rid of one of these thumbnails. Anyway, I love the movie. I can't wait to see it again. Genuinely excited. So here is Indiana Jones.
Oh, here's old Indiana Jones. Here's old 90s Indiana Jones. Jesus Christ.
This is even better. Look at this next one. This one's fucking hilarious.
That actually is one's distinguished. That's not the one that I've. Oh my god, that one's scary.
This one's great. Look at George.
George is just like, it's me and old Indy.
Wow.
He's got a bow tie. Big Tucker Carlson fan.
This is wild though. Like this really could happen now. Like really old. Anyway, I love this. I love this movie.
Did you notice? I don't know if it was just me. The Raiders march in the credits is slower.
Oh,
and more reverent.
Notice it. No, I did not.
Re-listen to it. It's New York 1969.
Okay.
Is the Marion into the ending.
Oh.
And
so you've listened to
the Raiders march plays. You can really hear the snare. You can really hear the snare popping. And it is it's not a full tempo, but it's noticeably slower to my ear.
Yeah. When you say snare, did you mean stare? Sorry.
No, I don't want to know anything. Ignorance is bliss. I do not want to be destroyed with knowledge. So.
Anyway, I love this movie. I cannot wait to see it again. Maybe in a couple years we'll revisit it, Jerry. We can talk about it again.
I can't wait to see it in a couple of years for a second.
No.
Like, I don't watch Indiana Jones. I pull them off the shelf every 5 years.
This is a must see. Hey, I know your parents are coming down. Are you going to see it with your dad, do you think? What do you think?
I don't know if we'll make it.
Okay.
To that, like I said, we'll have to see, because they're coming at the end of July. If it's still playing around, I'd like to. I'd like to take them to there's a drive-in theater close to where we're staying when they come up. So I'd like to go to do a drive-in movie with the kids.
That'd be fun.
And family. So,
look,
hey, yeah, anyone comes up here, I'll take you to a drive-in movie. We'll get a soda phosphate. Get a chocolate soda afterwards. No, I don't know if they don't have those up here. I was just trying to be 1950s about it all.
I love you.
It's late, guys.
It's late.
When we're recording this.
It's very it's one. It's for Jerry. It's 12 for me. We both woke up early today, so we're gonna close this thing out.
Very
We
early.
really can't thank all of you enough for actually being able to come and join us in this big countdown. This is a big deal for us. We haven't done one of these in a very long time. We may end up doing one at some point in the future with other things. Maybe even Ahsoka. We might do a bunch of Rebels discussions. I don't know. We'll see.
We should probably do some Rebels
We should do
discussion and
just a
everything.
big like season by season discussion on Rebels. That'd be
Yeah.
fun.
But
That's not a bad idea.
no, but to do like let us know things you want us to do kind of deep dives on again. I don't know. Hey, we got a new Ghostbusters movie coming out.
We do, man. Oh, I
don't know if we
and Dune. Oh, we're so lucky.
Yeah.
It's so funny. This is the time of
Spoiler
year that I
riches.
really enjoy for media. Like from here on out, like the fact that we got to cover Dial of Destiny. Like I don't know. It's been awesome.
Can you believe that it's out?
It's out. We saw it. We loved it, and it was
Man.
It's
Back in 2016, we were like, "Oh, they're making a new indie. Did you hear that? Oh, Donald Trump will never become president. No, never."
What's crazy is that's so long ago. 7 years ago.
That's
Man,
a long ass time ago.
that wild. That 2016 was 7 years ago. Anyway,
We are
we're
old.
here. We did it. Dial of Destiny's done. We hope
did
you
it.
enjoyed our discussion. The Bombad countdown has
Hope you cried.
has concluded. But for real, this has been a lot of fun covering Indiana Jones. If you liked any of this today and you want to go back and hear our thoughts on all the other movies, by all means. We can't thank you enough for joining us this evening. I know we couldn't really do the comments and do the live stuff, but the fact that you came and watched still means the world to us. And anything you want to say, Jerry, before we close this thing out? Oh, just to let y'all know, in terms of content, it might be a little like sprinkled.
We
here
might
and
be
there.
iffy, spread thin.
At
Again,
this exact moment, I am in California with my new car, and then the following week, I think that's when Jerry's got. It's not next week when you have people in town.
it's a couple towards the end of the month. I've got
But
parents coming up. But we've got a lot of life stuff going on, so we're still
In
going to be
July.
trying to put out content as much as we can. But we also
Yes.
might take a little summer vacation. We will have to see.
But in August, just know full force the Ahsoka coming out. Oh my god,
We are going to you're
can't
going to be annoyed with how much we talk about Ahsoka.
I can't
Okay?
wait for Ahsoka.
Yeah,
man.
we're gonna annoy the hell out of you. We can't wait.
But anyway,
It's gonna be great.
anyway, I love you, Jerry.
I love you
this is
too.
awesome. What should the wonderful people at home do?
Well, first of all, make sure your dials are set to the proper continental drift. And Jesus, stay Bombad?
Archimedes?
Did you say impossible? Pasquale? Only kidding, Jackie. I've changed my tune because I finally thought of a possible dream that we can all share. What is it?
Pasquale?
It's a dream about a world when nobody is poor or sick or hungry.
Oh, now that's a dream we can make come true.
I'm gonna make a change for once in my life. It's gonna feel real good, gonna make a difference, gonna make it right.
As I point up the collar on my favorite winter coat, this wind is blowing my mind.
I see the kids in the street with not enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their need? A summer's disregard, a broken bottle top,
And a one-man soul. They follow each other on the wind, you know, 'cause they got nowhere to go. And that's why I want you to know I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change
time for us to take a break. But we wouldn't dream of being gone for long. See you in a little bit.